welcome to our channel, Chris and Pat from C60 Evo. There's a lot of C60s out there, but C60 Evo is made in America and pure C60 that they don't use on tires and for electronic soldering. So I use the C60. This is the organic coconut oil. I ran into a guy from Iran who has soaked his mouth with coconut oil for a year and all the cavities filled in. Now, this was a famous Polish study. And so I have switched from the olive oil to the coconut oil. My body seems to like it a lot.
Mm.
Hey,
Oh,
wait,
you're doing a shot.
you're taking a shot. We're gonna join you then.
And then I put it in my coffee and I mix it up really good. And all morning while I'm looking at the stories, I'm
Cheers.
sipping my coffee with
Cheers.
C60 coconut oil in it.
That's
So
my coffee also. I love it.
now I've noticed my kidneys have slowed down because I've been exposed to everything under the sun, everything from the Gulf, blah, blah, blah. And I'm eliminating toxins.
True.
My whole body is like sick and these toxins are just flowing out of me.
Yeah.
I had Lyme's disease and then still have it. And my feet, when I was on TV for 2.5 years, I'd come home and my feet were all cracked. They looked like horribleness. I had to wrap my feet in duct tape because apparently diabetes causes your feet to crack and then you get infections and then you lose your feet, right? Well, I started C60 and I noticed something this morning. My feet are soft like a baby's foot.
Yay.
The blood sugar problem is gone. There are no cracks in my feet, no diabetes, no nothing like that. Blew my mind this morning. So, and I am eating a lot less. Blew my mind. I'm like, I didn't even eat dinner last night.
No, you didn't.
I had one piece of chicken at noon and that was it.
Yeah, we've been eating less.
I've
Is that
been
a
eating
symptom?
less.
Is
I
that
think
Well,
so.
When you start thinking about the impact that we believe the molecule's having on the mitochondria, the powerhouse of every cell, I'm not that surprised. I will say, make sure you're getting your protein, right? Protein first in any meal. Eat that steak, eat that chicken, eat that whatever. If you're, vegetarian, vegan, and this may not be for you, but also potential audience members, make sure you're focusing on your protein and getting that first. Because as you age, sarcopenia, muscle wasting is a big challenge, and eating enough protein is one. Like you need to stress your muscles, and then you need to eat enough protein, and you actually have to eat more protein as you age.
So I'm weightlifting more now. I'm doing 150.
So what do you recommend on daily protein? How many ounces?
Oh, so they'll say 1 gram of protein per pound of lean body mass. That is a lot, right? So my goal is to be at 165. I'm 5'9", so I should be consuming 165 grams of protein a day. I think that's more than 1.5 pounds of meat. I don't hit that target. Yes.
Oh, that's a lot.
It is a lot, right? I don't hit that target every day, but I am constantly just working in that direction. Again, because and I'm 56. In the last 12 months, I've probably put on 5 pounds of muscle. At 56, that's not possible,
That's
right?
huge.
Yeah, it's a big deal. That and by the way, my workout routine hasn't changed over the last 5 years. I just increased protein over the last year.
Are you including eggs in that?
Eggs are absolutely protein. Yeah, you want to do that.
Okay. So, wow, I'm glad I asked you that question because that's more than I anticipated.
It's a lot.
That is a lot.
You really got to focus on that. You got to get some fat. So, there's 3 macros, right? There's carbs, there's fat, and there's protein. And one of them you actually don't need to survive, and that is carbs. They're also the most delicious, but that's another that's another thing.
What, lasagna?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, fat. You start on protein. Fats will kind of come naturally if you're just eating natural meats, and then veggies. To support it.
You know what I think is important is to listen to your body.
Yes.
I learned that when I was pregnant. My body was demanding things that I never liked before. And I thought it was so strange, but I had to go get a whole pickle at the deli every day I was downtown. A pickle when I was pregnant. And I haven't eaten a pickle since. But if I couldn't get a whole one, I'd start clawing at the lady's deli door if she was counting her money. I'm like, no, seriously. And then the second child was tomato juice.
Oh, so go figure on that. Now, pickle, I get the pickle thing. Tomato, I didn't. I hear ice cream, Pickles. Oh, that's funny.
Well, I detoxed last month and I have had two cravings that I haven't gotten over yet, and it's protein eating. So I'm really loving hearing this because
Mhm.
the trick is I can't get enough salsa. Now, I don't know what's going on in my organic salsa, but I don't care what I put it on. And of course, I put it on protein. So I've made way too many scrambled eggs loaded with salsa to start my day. And I'm just so happy. I just finished it, and I'm all proteined up. So good to know. But the
Yeah.
other thing, it's so messy, tacos. Like
Oh,
this is
yeah.
not something I'm used to cooking, but almost every other day I grease up my kitchen counter and just splatters everywhere.
Yep.
Tacos, just so I got something great to put my hot sauce on. Every bite I'm digging in, but I'm listening to my cravings. And when I get up in the morning, all I want is butter lettuce with rolled up hummus
Love
every
butter
day.
lettuce. Yeah.
Now, the beans and hummus are protein, aren't they?
Yes. Yes, they
Yeah,
are.
they're like
Yes, they
50%
are.
protein. Yeah.
50 what?
That's a
Percent
perfect,
protein.
yeah.
I
It's
can't
a very
get
good.
I can't get it up to on anything else but these two things. And if I do the eggs first, then it's the hummus later. But I'm craving things I'm not used to craving, and it's consistent. So as long as I listen to my body, I'm sleeping like a log. I'm feeling better than ever. And I take the C60 Evo every day religiously so that my mind is focused. And
Yes.
it's really funny. Yesterday, Chris did a shot at the beginning of the show, didn't tell us he had done a shot right before the show. And he talked so fast. It was the funniest thing. I felt like I was watching a choo-choo train running down the tracks. Like 20 minutes in, he took a breath. And I was like, both of us, Michael Jaco and I were just looking at him like, that was a lot of fast. He said, well, I guess I did do a shot before. So all I can say about that is I recommend you don't take it at night unless you can do coffee at night because it gives you energy like boom right off the bat, which is why we love to start the show taking a spoonful. It just wakes us all up, mental focus, real presence, good memory. And I'll tell you stories about my childhood. No, I'm kidding. We have a presentation that relates to William's history and so many people in your audience that have dealt with some issues. And I'm going to let Chris be the one to say these words that we weren't allowed to say 2 years ago. And now too much truth is coming out, and people are moving forward and saying, what is the solution to things I've been dealing with silently? And now we're going to talk about some really important issues
Okay,
to improve your health.
two issues. You can speak the truth because I make no money on this, not a
Mm,
dime. And number two, it works magically. It always works magically.
it's
Define
magic.
that in Bouvier law. You can say anything you want because there is no money changing hands. You're putting it into a nonprofit. I'm not even on the board of directors.
Wow. Okay. So,
She
and
is.
you mentioned Lyme, right? We're going to be talking about
Yeah.
COVID, Lyme,
Yes.
potentially any vaccine, right? Vaccines can have some kind of long-term impacts on you and
Mhm.
recovery. We do believe that the ESS60 molecule is kind of central to helping manage the downstream outcomes of any one of these situations, right? Um, Really, we're looking at the triad of biological hijacking, right? Chronic inflammation, oxidative stress, mitochondrial dysfunction. So, when you think about Lyme disease in particular, one of the things that it's really good at is hiding in your body, right? If you've ever been exposed to
Yes.
Lyme, you probably still have it in your system somewhere. It's
Yes.
waiting, it's kind of opportunistic. And in some people, not all, but in some people, it'll just be constantly causing this stress, this persistent signaling, this cytokine storm. By the way, the cytokine storm is also really what did the damage when it comes to COVID. Your body's fighting it. It's kind of relatively indiscriminately sending out these cytokines to fight everything, and that's where most of the damage ended up coming from. And so you've got this persistent signaling. Really, it's a cellular fire that actually leads over to oxidative stress. So now the whatever the virus, the bacteria, your body's reaction to a vaccine is creating additional reactive oxygen species. And again, and we'll cover this a little bit further down, but I picture these reactive oxygen species like little bumper cars. If they're left to their own devices, they run around and everything they smack into, maybe we call it lipid peroxidation, we just call it damage, right? That is really in the oxidative stress arena. We also see glutathione depletion. Now, glutathione is the master shield, the master antioxidant. It actually works at the level of the mitochondria, which is the next thing that we're talking about. This is one of the challenges, specifically with Lyme disease, is that it also takes away the nutrients that your mitochondria need to generate energy. So
Yes.
it's a manganese thief, and you need manganese to produce energy, to produce that ATP. That's the energy, that's the unit of energy that your cells use, that the mitochondria produces. So now you're having membrane collapse, the ATP is not being produced. Typically people who are kind of suffering from long COVID or suffering from Lyme disease, like an ongoing recurrent infection, are experiencing exhaustion, right? They're just tired
Yes.
all the time. There's fog, which makes sense when you think about mitochondria being the powerhouse of every cell. And there's 2 million mitochondria in every cell in your brain. And we do believe that this free radical sponge that is the ESS60 molecule is the a thing, right? It's not the thing. It doesn't cure it. It doesn't magically make it go away, or maybe it is magic. I don't know. But it is a thing that, if we look into the research, we look into the boss theory, we really understand why this might be having an impact. Quick refresher, we are talking about this beautiful molecule. There is a book called The Most Beautiful Molecule, just about this molecule. You can see it here. It's absolutely beautiful. It's the ESS60 molecule, was discovered in 1985. The 3 scientists who discovered it, Dr. Smalley, Dr. Curl, and Dr. Kroto, won the Nobel Prize in 1996. Our lab started producing it in 1991, a full 5 years before they were awarded the Nobel Prize. We are the oldest and longest manufacturer and distributor of this ESS60 molecule on the planet. Molecule's amazing, performs in a lot of industrial applications, but because of this specific shape right here, they thought it would be toxic. They put it in a toxicity study, and instead of being toxic, this happened. So here's some details of the study. There were 3 groups of Wistar rats in this study. One group was given water, that's a control group. One group was given olive oil, a semi-control group, and then the other group was given olive oil with the ESS60 molecule dissolved in it. You can see here a typical Wistar rat, and of course the water control groups lived like a typical Wistar rat. They lived out to 32 months, and then it's important to note that the olive oil rats lived out to 38 months, a full 18% extension of life in these Wistar rats. I'm so happy that this is true, because just our base oil, right? Olive oil is the oil that we recommend.
Yes.
Our base
Yes.
oil is already really healthy for you. There's a guy out there, Dr. Stephen Gundry.
Yep.
I love
Yes.
you're right. Yeah, I love what he says. He says the purpose of food is to get more olive oil into your mouth, right? Like that's
Yeah.
how important olive oil is. But still, this 18% is nothing compared to the ESS60 rats, which lived out to 62 months, a full 90% extension of life. And something that's pretty important in this particular case is none of them died with tumors. Really, this study, it could have been 5 separate studies. We've talked about some more details of the studies in the past. We'll probably come back and share some more, because it's, we're constantly discovering new and amazing things about this ESS60 molecule.
Chris, where did the sample come from that they used for the test?
Oh, yeah. So I'm very proud to share our lab provided the material, and our lab is mentioned in this original study, right? So this is the Bhatti study published in 2012. So what do we think? Like, one of my roles as we kind of shift from a carbon nanomaterial manufacturing chief scientist into the health and wellness chief scientist is, what is going on with this molecule? How is it delivering value? And there's really kind of a path of 3 key kind of mindsets. The first one is sleep. Our most consistent testimonial is people take the product in the morning, they report mental focus and energy during the day, and then better sleep that night. By the way, I just had a conversation with somebody yesterday who was blown away by the vivid dreams they're having. I don't know if you guys have experienced
Yes.
Oh my God. Yes.
Right? Now,
Yeah.
why is that? right?
I don't
Sleep
know.
is, well, yeah. So sleep is so important. Like we know this. So there's just zero doubts. It's good for your mental, physical, and emotional well-being. And I kind of picture sleep like this kind of, this is a misrepresentation, but like this checklist, right? And as you go to sleep, your body is like, oh, I got to clean out the mitochondria. I've got to take care of some emotional
Yeah.
stuff. I've got to cement physical memories, cement memories into long-term memory, all of this stuff. Well, if you've dealt with the mitochondria, we're going to talk about that here in a second, then that's one of the things that's off the checklist. So now it can move on and spend more time on the other things on the checklist that you're supposed to be accomplishing while you're asleep, right? So this is fantastic. One of those is the emotional, like how to manage emotions, and that is represented through your REM sleep, like right, rapid eye movement
Right.
sleep, which
Right.
Right.
is your dreams. And
Right.
and I can share the same thing with me. My dreams, I'm having more of them. They're more
Yeah.
vivid. It's
I remember.
and the guy that I was talking with yesterday, he pointed out none of them they're not nightmares, right? None of them are nightmares. They're all like, I mean, it may be scary stuff happening. He was actually talking about being in the middle of an apocalyptic scene, but he was like, "Yeah, this is just what it is. We're okay." Like it wasn't a scary nightmare. It was like legitimately doing a good job processing the emotions. And I'll just add, we get testimonials on a regular basis about being able to better manage emotions when people are taking this. And that could be just because of sleep. But I always like to dig further. I'm trying to figure out why did these rats live 90% longer than the control group? You look at the medical community, they tend to think about aging as an oxidation and an inflammation process. So,
Okay.
from an oxidation perspective, there's an ad hoc study out on the web showing us to be 172 times more powerful than vitamin C. And then there's peer reviewed published research that shows us to be 125 times more powerful than vitamin C. So, absolutely a big check mark on antioxidant. When it comes
Wow.
to inflammation, we really have to be careful because the FDA equates conversations of inflammation with the diseases of inflammation, which are also the diseases of aging. So,
Right.
arthritis, Alzheimer's,
Oh yeah.
cardiovascular disease, cancers. So, if I come on this show and I share that we address inflammation, what the FDA hears me claiming is that we cure cancer and we cure cardiovascular disease.
Oh
We are not claiming that, right?
no.
Absolutely not. There's so much
No.
research we are going to need to do in order to be able to make those types of claims. The FDA will allow us to say that we address inflammation, at least as it relates to exercise-induced inflammation. So we get, I don't know, a half check mark on inflammation because of the FDA.
And I
Um,
like to say it must be a huge coincidence that so many people
Yeah,
are
isn't that
having good
amazing?
luck.
Yeah, it's just luck. And I didn't even mention as it comes to sleep, we do have this study. We did a crossover study. It's a small cohort, and we actually were surveying the people involved in the study. Rate your sleep. How easy was it to fall asleep? How restless was your sleep? And the blue bar represents 10 days of survey data before they started the product. The red bar, 10 days while they were on the product. The yellow bar, 10 days when they were back off the product. And then the green bar, 10 days when they're back on it. You can see here, this is the average of all the data, that there is an improvement in sleep when they're taking the product. Even more important than that, I believe, if you look at the actual raw data for the individuals in this study, 100% of them reported improvements in sleep when they were taking the product. So pretty fantastic result. And then the final kind of where we landed is this boss theory. And this is where, I don't know, the rubber hits the road. We like launch like a rocket, I guess like Artemis that's on its way or on the way back from the moon, whatever its status is. Because this really explains why we have head to toe testimonials. So we know from peer reviewed published research that this ESS60 molecule gets into the mitochondria. We also know from way back in the 90s that this molecule can hold up to 6 negatively charged particles on the exterior of the cage. And what that looks like in the mitochondria, a powerhouse of every cell, your mitochondria, as it's producing energy, produces a negative byproduct called reactive oxygen species. Now, the way I picture these is if they're left to their own devices, they run around the body and everything they smack into, they cause rust, right? That's kind of the general way to look at it. They cause oxidative stress and oxidative damage. And of course, your mitochondria has a way to manage this, and that is the internal glutathione, which we mentioned gets depleted when you're suffering from, say, long COVID or Lyme disease, or whatever, any sort of vaccine reaction. So glutathione and melatonin. Also worth noting here, melatonin is the sleep hormone functioning at the same level as the ESS60 molecule right there in the mitochondria. There's some really good parallels here. So you can see in this healthy mitochondria, you got these beautiful blue reactive oxygen species. They look so peaceful, right? Because they're not running around like little bumper cars, because they're bonded with either glutathione or melatonin. But what happens when you stress a mitochondria? I think we can agree, if you're, long COVID, Lyme disease, some sort of vaccine reaction, if any of these things are happening, you have stressed mitochondria. And that's when your mitochondria starts producing more reactive oxygen species than can be managed internally. You can see some are managed here, right? So the glutathione and melatonin is doing as much as available, is doing its job, but it's just producing more than can be managed. And that's, again, when they run around like little bumper cars and cause all this stress. That's where the ESS60 molecule comes into play. Again, from peer-reviewed published research, it's in there. We believe that it's holding on up to 6 of these negatively charged particles, so they can't run around like little bumper cars. And then when that mitochondria can replenish the glutathione and replenish the melatonin, then that glutathione and melatonin can manage those reactive oxygen species appropriately. So as we kind of go back to, what's going on, COVID, Lyme, vaccine, it's that chronic inflammation, it's that oxidative stress, it's that mitochondrial dysfunction. If we think about chronic inflammation, Borrelia is the actual Lyme disease. This is the thing that's the stealth mechanism. It's putting your immune system on high alert. It's the cytokine storm, which is creating reactive oxygen species, which we just talked about, are managed by the ESS60 molecule, or it helps your body manage those the best way that your body can. You think about oxidative stress, kind of cellular rust. This is that reactive oxygen species that's the byproduct of that cytokine storm. Really, the different things that you're dealing with can weaponize those reactive oxygen species against us. And you get the collateral damage of a glutathione depletion. And so you don't have these shields left. We believe, as we just talked about, that the ESS60 molecule helps to manage that. And then finally, mitochondria. I don't even know that we need to belabor this, because according to the Boss theory, this is acting as a buffer, right? So it's not replacing glutathione, it's not replacing melatonin, it's just getting your body the breathing room to do its job when it's under stress. And then what do people kind of tend to experience on the product? We think about it as a 3-month experience, which really does have parallels with our most consistent testimonial. Again, people take it in the morning, mental focus and energy during the day, better sleep at night. So month 1, we look at focus and energy. The testimonial that I lean on here, we got some product to an influencer. She sent in her video that at the end of the day, and she pointed out that she didn't finish her cup of coffee. Now, if you're a coffee drinker, right, you will notice that you don't finish your cup of coffee. That's a big deal as we all reach for our cup of coffee. And I will share, I used to be a 2 to 3 cup of coffee per day person. I'm now down to 1. Even the only reason I really don't get rid of coffee as part of my routine is because that's when I take my C60 Evo. I'm a little nervous if I change my coffee routine, am I still gonna remember to take my C60 Evo? And there are some potential weight loss benefits as you potentially replace saturated fats with a great oil like olive oil. Month 2, we think about sleep. Again, it's really happening in month 1, but to get your head around, my dreams are clear, right? I'm having more dreams. I'm feeling more rested. These are things that every now and then we have a day that's super crystal clear, and we may have a dream. To notice that that's happening on a regular basis usually takes about 2 months. And the testimonial I lean on here is my business coach says for 50 years he needed an alarm clock. After he started taking the product, he no longer needs the alarm clock. Now, He's a business coach, right? So he's got late night dinners, late night
Yeah.
mixers. None
Stuff
of
all
that
over.
matters, right? None of that matters until he doesn't have the product for 10 days, at which point, and that's actually what the literature suggests this molecule clears out of your body. And then finally, we look at month 3. Really, this is, reducing the negative impact of stressed mitochondria. And if we're doing that, we're having systemic benefits. We're having testimonials. You guys can probably only see about half of the testimonials that we get because we can't share them because they mention specific disease states, and so we can't share them. We've got a lot more research to do. Like we are actually doing a headache study. We're doing an HSCRP study, which is an inflammatory study. We are doing a more formalized sleep study, and then a wrinkle and age spot study for our cosmetic product, all driven by testimonials that really we can't share. I will share my father-in-law was walking with a cane at about the 3-month mark. He stopped using the cane, started walking further, had weight loss benefits from that walking, and that's that kind of systemic benefits that we think of in month 3. And that's all I got.
Well, I'd love to hear your testimonials head to toe, Jane and William.
Oh, I got 2 things. My pain is reduced, which is incredible because I'm missing what my middle backbone is missing. It's gone. It was dissolved when I fell off a ladder. They told me I was paralyzed, and I said, right. So anyway, there's been a lot of pain associated with it. Well, the oil in the C60, I don't know, it's like it lubricates my body. And then you don't know this, and I'm going to say pillow talk. Hey, Bill. Hey, Bill, are you awake? Hey, Bill. Hey, Bill, are you awake? I had the most incredible dream almost every night now.
I'm doing, yeah.
Almost every night. Hey, Bill, wake up, wake up. I had the most incredible dream. Blah, blah, blah. Oh my God, I'm laughing like crazy. C60 Evo. She's just getting these incredible dreams, wakes up like this, tells me the dream, goes back to
I
sleep.
even remember them.
She doesn't talk in her sleep anymore. She just goes, Bill, Bill, are you awake? Are you awake?
Funny.
One thing I love about that is it's very binary, right? If you were to come on and share, oh, my dreams are more vivid, right? Okay, that's a relative situation, and it's very subjective. But I used to not remember, and now I do remember. I used to think that I didn't have, and now I definitely do have. That's very binary, and those are the testimonials that I give the most credence to.
What about, hey, Bill, wake up. I just had the most incredible dream.
Well, I
almost
remember.
every night.
Yeah. And sleep used to be one of my main problems of just existing. I could not sleep, and I was struggled with it for years.
And she just goes,
But I'm
like, what?
Yeah.
That warms my heart, honestly. Like that's, Patty and I are putting this product out into the universe, and we believe it's adding value. We hear it every now, all the time that it's adding value. But then when we get like one particular, it's like my sleep is better. Like that just makes us feel amazing.
Well, that's huge, right? That little thing is huge. It affects everything in your life.
Your pain, everything.
Yeah.
What were you saying about your skin, Jane?
Oh my gosh, how long do we have?
She had these little crepes. She looked like her legs up, and now they're going away.
I love the skin products. Love. Now I've got, and I was telling this to Chris last month, I've used a lot of different expensive skin products over the years, and this is by far the best I've ever tried. Yep. That, and then the two-part, put those up there.
The Skin Reduo, yeah.
Yep, that's it. Oh my gosh, I cannot tell you the difference. And I get crepey skin, it happens. But I put the lotion on, the body lotion, and I'll say, Bill, look at my crepey skin is gone. It's huge. That's huge.
It's huge.
Yeah.
We've been sold out. We've been sold out for 3 months. We just got it back in Monday.
Oh my gosh.
And it's funny, people are buying 3. Like, yeah, people are stocking up. I haven't seen it, people jump, but the smell of this, I mean.
Oh, the smell is but the results, I mean, oh my gosh. Well, yeah, because I'm going on a trip, and TMI, I've got to I'm wearing a bathing suit because it's the tropical weather. Well, I mean, when you've got straight skin, it's like, oh my gosh. So yeah, this has been a lifesaver for me.
That's awesome. And
Well,
I wanted to explain the reason
Oh,
that we have the two-part face serum is because one of them has peptides and the other is our marvelous the oils.
right.
And there's a lot of ingredients, but we try to stay away from chemicals and emulsifiers. And the only way to do it was separate them and have you freshly activate in the palm of your hand every time you use it. Chris likes to model. That's why his skin still gets him carded
Oh,
now and
I
then.
know it. And I got to tell you what I personally do because I've been playing with it, right? And I'll use 4 pumps and then I'll put literally 4 drops. So I
Mm.
do equal and then mix it. And I love it. Love it.
Yeah,
Huh.
it's pretty amazing. And it's cool that you
Yeah.
activate it right there in your hand. So you're getting
Yes.
kind of the
Yes.
freshest response.
Yeah. There you
Smells
go.
amazing.
Oh yeah, but it feels good.
So Chris is
I mean, you can.
56. I just want to mention now you can see his naked face. When I met him, he was a shriveled prune. He looked 80. Now look at him.
Really? How long it did? How long ago was that now?
We've been together 6 years, working
So in
together.
6 years, this is what we get.
Yeah.
But you get no aging. Now,
Amazing.
my mom is going to be 97 in a month, and she has magnificent skin. She's been using this one, which is
I
our
have.
one part, which is also what I use morning and then the other one at night, or vice versa. But the
Mhm.
essence, the smell of all of them
Oh, they're
is
wonderful.
one more layer of delight and also a remedy because this
Yeah.
is a rosemary oil with a base of chia seed oil. Nobody's ever done chia seed oil that I know in a face serum, but our formulator is Miss Natural. She's written over 20 books on raw foods. And when I went to meet with her to do the formula, she looked like baby skin and she was in her 70s. And I was just
wow.
stunned. I said, "What is your secret? What are you doing on your face?" I mean, she does nettles and, in her hands. Ah,
Yeah.
but she said,
Yeah.
chia seed oil. So that was the first note. And then we finished it with rosemary because it takes your dreams into a higher frequency, which I think is
Oh,
a really delightful thing at night. We were talking about our vivid dreams. I will say I've always been a good sleeper, but once I did this detox last month and got rid of I don't know what, again, I got more heavily back onto the olive oil C60, and I I haven't slept as well maybe my whole life as I have in the last 2 months. I am like I lay down, I'm gone. The cat better talk to me quickly, and I'm out for at least
Well,
7, 8 hours. Then I get up, use the restroom, and I make it like 8, 9 hours lately.
oh my gosh. Can I ask you what you did, how you did your detox?
Yes, I basically, well, I was dealing with the climate change flu.
Yes.
yes.
So
Yes.
I decided because I work with this company and I work on the formulas with Chris and Robert that I needed to feel the whole grueling thing of being sick from what looked to me like very bad clouds in the sky and very immediate 0 to 60 winds because, it seemed like they were creating climate change issues, shall we say.
Uh-huh.
So
Indeed.
I do my sunning in the morning. I sit out on my front deck and just, you know, look at relax and, let my skin get some sun. And I looked at the sky and I went, maybe today's not a good day to be outside. And then they hit what looked like a HARP array. All of a sudden, everything is the next photo in that presentation. And it was so blatant to me that it was a climate change event caused
Uh-huh.
by humans. And so I thought I better get inside, but I was a little slow on it. I never get sick because I take this every day. I'm going to go the big bottle, but I
Oh,
take this
that's my
every
favorite
day.
size.
It's 172 times more powerful than vitamin C. It's an antioxidant, but I don't want to exaggerate. Peer reviewed is 125 times more powerful as an antioxidant. So needless to say, it really helps us not get sick when a lot of everybody else is. First time in 6 or 7 years, I got nailed about a month and a half ago, and I went through every feeling, but it was so, how do I say, synthetic that I actually got a split in my lip, which I've never had in my life, lasted weeks, and a split on the skin on my nose. Like, what? I mean, so it felt directed and weird, but I really went through it and I just kept doing the Evo double double. And then a lady around the corner makes flower remedies, which somebody said extremely potent. And I got a humidifier and a red light therapy. I did
Yeah,
everything, doubled up my Evo, and I came
yeah,
out of it. But like I said, I never get sick. And it just stimulated me to talk about how and why we're getting sick. And when we look at the things that Chris was, talking about relief from, those are kind of man-made issues, aren't they, Kathy and
You mean
absolutely.
Bill?
my fellow officers in the military are ruining your day from the 55th and 60th Air Wing? I've got pictures of the insides of their jets we show occasionally. I have I have been to the hospitals and seen the pilots' babies. Oh my God. They are so deformed. So you mean my fellow officers would do that to you? Oh, heaven forbid.
How many
Yeah,
Lyme diseases did you say they created?
Well, I called the CDC when I got Lyme's disease, malaria, babesiosis, ehrlichiosis, micropla, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, the things that don't exist, right? Anyway, the CDC told me there's 250 different Lyme's diseases they created out of relapsing fever. And I have one of the only diagnosed real Lyme's diseases. And I said, what do you do with a patient with all these diseases? And the major on the phone is a doctor. He said, let him die. He said, what's the name of the patient? I said, it's me. And if I meet you at the officers club, I'm going to dance on your face. I was pretty mad. So,
yeah.
I mean, I'm
Watch
done.
out.
Yeah, there's a fire in me that just doesn't seem to quit. And if I ever run into those colonels in the 55th and 60th Air Wing, they might court martial me as a captain, but they're going to have to haul me off with an escort because I still have a foreign embassy. So,
Is that
I'll
why
tell
they
you
called
what.
us and said no big bottle for Bill? Did they say
What?
no big bottle? I'm teasing you. Look at her. She's like, what? They
No,
called you?
that's my favorite one is the
I'm,
big
I'm
bottle.
already on the monthly order.
Yeah, I know that's, oh no, don't say that.
No, I'm on the monthly
30,
order
this
to
is
make sure I'm taking
32
it all.
ounce. I don't think
Yeah,
you've had, oh, you do have a 32
yeah.
ounce?
I don't, yeah,
She's
Christmas.
done in 4 months.
I took it in 4 months.
Wow. No wonder
I know
you're
it. Well, my
anti-aging.
my body want it. I just listened, like you said, I listened to my body, and I took what I wanted. I didn't, and so yeah, that's what happened.
She wakes up like this now instead of, oh, she's like, bing.
Yeah, I get up really good.
It's awesome.
Another thing that the climate change clouds caused was for me not to want to go walking, which really was
Yes.
stupid. That is a difficult thing. And I look out at people walking their dogs and I think, oh man, but I don't want everybody to know. I want people to keep living their lives. I think it's kind of for the military and the elders to be, holding down the fort with all these things. But then, the scientists to come in with remedies that are going to help us live a better life. That's what's important, is to be able to decipher the crap from the really good stuff.
Hmm.
And, when we talk about being the only lab in America making this amazing product, Chris
That's
and
something,
Robert
the
have been
only
at it.
one.
They've been at it for 34 years. I know he doesn't look old enough, but yeah, they got dared in college to be able to create this molecule that won the Nobel Prize 5 years later. But their professor was like, you guys are a couple of smart dudes. You should try and figure out how to make it. And Chris, of course, jokes now, if we knew what it would have taken, we'd probably pick anything else other than this molecule, because you have to cook it at the heat of the sun. Cook it,
Well, yes, we were talking about that. It's just amazing.
vaporize.
Yeah, totally.
Chris, I can't imagine what you've been through. I mean, I created a product that eliminates diseases in trees, and then we transfer that to humans. But the testing, the nights up, reading books, looking for the books that you have to find to read, and then you find this one precious book, and it all just kind of falls into your brain, and it takes you 20 years to find that one book. And then you read that one book, and it's like, oh my God, this is what I've been looking for, and you create it. I know what you've been through, Chris.
Yeah.
It,
No,
it, it, it's always in there forever. And then all of a sudden, bam, you put it down and you go, wonder if this is going to work.
yeah. I'll be like based in when I was in college, while I was still, attending classes, I would be sketching like different ways, different reactors for manufacturing this molecule. And I'll
Oh,
still do
wow.
that from time to time. Like that just kind of ingrained. Like, how could we do it better? Like, what does this look like? How do we tweak this? How do
Okay.
we improve that? Yeah, all the time.
And then he meets
Yeah,
the
his mind
hippie,
never stops.
and then he meets the hippie chick from Boulder, and now we've got face serums, body creams, lip balms, hair
The
formulas.
hippie girl from Boulder.
Yep.
But I have an admission to make.
I love it.
My Harley
Uh-oh.
was only a 125. It was only
Huh?
a 125. My Harley Davidson was only a 125 cc.
Oh, I don't want to say what mine was 1340.
But it got me to and from college,
Yeah.
and that was the
Well,
reason I bought it.
I waited till I got divorced and then I got the big Harley and then I got the bigger one. I don't know what got into me other
Well, I
than
rode all over in that 125. I did tours. I mean, I'm all over California. I just love to ride. And then I got busy.
Yeah. Life takes over.
yeah, life calls. Well,
Mm.
I want to just do one final brag, which is the longevity brag. My mom is going to be 97 next month. And my kids were just visiting her in their touring school on wheels RV. They've taken off and left Colorado because we're so slow, shall I say. But they're taking the kids road schooling, and what they're
Oh,
learning is priceless. But my mom, at almost 97, got up into the RV the other day. I said, "There's no way she's going to get in it," even though her brain is 50. She's like remarkable. But, she's been through more surgeries than most of us put together. But she's bionic now, and she's had every shot under the sun, and she'll get more tomorrow. So I don't know how she's still here, except that I constantly send her C60 Evo. And she is long past all of her friends. They're all kind of fading around left and right. And
mhm.
my mom is a powerhouse. So there she was in the RV cracking jokes to the kids. And I'm thinking, man, at 100, she's still going to be cooking. And her skin looks absolutely gorgeous. And when she runs low, I get a photo from her of the bottle sideways, and I can tell it's empty. Okay, mom, got it. And her helper that helps her get through life 5, 6 days a week. Thank God for her. I didn't know, but I said, why don't you taste, Mom's Evo, and I'll send a little extra if you like it. So she starts, giving it to mom every morning in her coffee, and then she takes some of her own. And she tells me a few months later that she hasn't had one of those monstrous M headaches in ages. And I said, I didn't know
Wow.
you got those. And she said, so badly that I would, all these terrible things that people complain about when they get those terrible headaches. And she said, I was so bad that I had a shot every 3 months, and I
Yeah.
haven't had a headache. Now it's been almost a year she's had one. So she gets her own bottle when I send one to mom, and the
Oh,
testimonials are nonstop with the two of them. I mean, to me, my family is my testimonial, but the other testimonial is our subscribers. So I do want to mention that on our landing page, yay, thank you, pulling it up, which
PR.
is c60evo.com/William dash Mount. Make sure you remember the dash, but it'll
We'll put
be,
it in the
yeah, put it in the link. Look
in
how
this. Yeah,
dashing he
down
looks.
below.
But anything that you buy, if you sign up for a monthly subscription, you're going to save 20% on
Yes, that's what I
every
did.
order. And
See
yeah,
what I did.
it really helps to save money. And if you don't love the product, cancel. No problem. Write us, call us. Nicest 5-star team. I think they've had over 500 reviews. They're wonderful people and they don't even ask questions. But more than 70% of our monthly sales are resubscribes because people don't stop taking it. And
No.
often we'll get a testimonial. I thought maybe I'd done it so long, that so I stopped for, a week to 10 days. Oh my God, did I miss it? And then they come back and end up doing that much or more. And it's not that it's addictive, other than you look and feel better. That's what we're
Mhm.
addicted to, is feeling better. So we have
These are the
specials.
specials
Yep. And they're
for
only
this
on your
month.
landing page. You will not find them on our website. You will
Oh,
only find them on this landing page. So you get a deal for two, you get a better deal on six, and then you get a great deal on three. But again, sign up for a monthly subscription, and it'll even be better. You'll get another 20% off and the option to do it again next month. And if you grab the link, Williams Link, you're going to save another little chunk at checkout. So there's all kinds of discounts. Don't need to complain. But on the left, you're going to see our two top items. Therefore, we call it the Inside and Out Starter Set because one of them is the edible oil that's received all these peer-reviewed amazing acclaims. And the facial serum, the base facial serum that is 21 organic, natural, vegan ingredients. And it just makes you look and feel so much better. And my 18-year-old kitty is just reminding me that we have cat and dog formulas also. I'm sorry, Uma, I almost forgot. I adopted
Yuma?
my kid's cat, and she's 18, and she and her partner, he's just passed away at 22. They are C60 Evo cats. And that is the olive oil formula, our number one seller. Plus, the dog formula has a little bit of bacon essence. The cat formula has a little salmon essence. And we do the wonderful thing called the dog lover set or the cat lover set, which is one for you and one for your pet. And they love it because it tastes good. And you love it because you probably won't need to spend all that money at the vet moving forward. I know.
Yeah.
Thank you for reminding me. So Uma's very talkative. And again, Chris is reminding me with his dashing red light to sign up for a monthly subscription to save 20%. I mean, why not save money? And then don't forget to use William's secret code at checkout. And there's all kinds
That's
of ways.
amazing. What is the secret
People,
code?
it's William Dash Mount. A lot of people, probably the majority of the people on my show are over 50, and they are movers and shakers. They are the board of directors. They are the presidents of the world. And oftentimes I'll say something and Trump will repeat me. That's happened dozens of times. Same with Putin. And so the channel was designed. I got involved to start helping the veterans. I won the Agent Orange case. I won a case that got 100,000 vets off the street. I don't quit. And I'll say something like here are the weapons in Iran. You need to target these locations. I just know these things. And so the movers and the shakers don't want to look old, and they don't want to slow down. They want to just keep going and going and going. So I think this video is going to bring a lot of the people out of the closet who are going, I'm 65 years old controlling this multi-billion-dollar company, and I look like I'm 80. And nobody's listening to me anymore because they think I'm old and over the hill. And I think
that happens.
when they can't get adrenochrome or something else like that, and they spend all this money for cosmetic surgery, I think they're going to say, it finally is going to hit because you got to say something 6 times, and I talk about you about 4 or 5 times a month. I do. I always hold up.
Can
That's
you
why I
bump
keep
it
them
up
hot
to
buttons.
6, please?
Okay. Anyway, I think it's going to hit home now. They're going to look in the mirror and go, oh my God, I have to have a cup of coffee and I have to have the alarm clock go off and I go to work and I drag my tail. And I think a lot of these movers and shakers are going to say,
I got to do something about
I got to do something about it. And if this product really works, what's it going to cost me? $100? And if this works, then I'm back in business.
That's right. And then you look in the mirror and it's not so bad. Then you check out your arms and you go, I didn't
I
think
don't
that
have
was
that
much on there.
possible.
No, well, yeah,
And
That's
so that
pretty
60
nice.
I know.
I mean, did you see Jack Webb at 65? He looked 90. It was
Mm.
just, if he'd have done C60, these people, they work so long and so hard,
Yeah.
and they spend so much money to look young, they won't have to use a plastic surgeon anymore, or all those oils of delays.
By the way, speaking of plastic and not plastic, we have glass bottles now going
Yes.
out
do.
with all of our edible oils, and boy, it's heavy. And I
Yes.
can't throw them along my kitchen counter like when I finish setting up my coffee, I slide it. It's like, ooh, not the glass ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a
Yeah.
whole new level, and we just started in the last month. So we do want to let people know nonstop upgrade. But when you talk about the benefits and you realize that all it took was this and a spoon, or Chris's, beaker, or you straight out of the bottle. I did have somebody comment because I forgot my spoon and I just hit it, and they said,
Yeah.
"Oh, not very scientific." And Chris corrected them and said,
Well, I
Well,
I thought you had said that they said not very sanitary, right?
Right.
Scientific, okay, whatever. Like you're not the
Sanitary.
scientist in the pair. Like that's
sanitary.
like that. Them expecting that is not reasonable. But in terms of sanitary, olive oil is a great antiviral, great antibacterial,
Yes, it
right?
is.
Like so you can leave olive oil out. It's not a concern. So yeah, that from that perspective, not a big deal.
I mean, it's an anti everything that's not good for you. Anti, antibiotic, antiviral, anti everything. It just, you can go down a nice long list. But again, we're not allowed to say the important ones. I'll just throw out that I had hip replacements 2 years ago and I was dancing within 2 months. So, not doing the tango, but I I felt amazing, and I've got a friend going through it very soon. So I just sent her a few little products because I said, double up your Evo. Oh, I'm running low, not for long. And she said, she was the one that said, oh my God, when this first came out, I just want to take a bath in it. So this is in her
I know.
hospital box when she gets out. But
Oh,
we got to treat ourselves well. And not only is it make you feel and look better, but you smell better because
yeah.
we like
It's
the
all.
element of aromatherapy. I do. The guys at
Oh
the
yeah.
lab are like, oh, there she goes again. But you know what?
I
They
don't
notice.
dislike it. Like I don't dislike it.
Yeah, well, your wife thinks you smell real darn good, I can tell you that. So, and I bet Bill's wife thinks he smells real good, don't you?
Oh yeah.
With the
No
Evo.
complaints.
Yay. Well, we really appreciate you guys, and we hope your audience will trust you that we don't make it up. We actually don't do shows with people that don't use our products daily. So every month when you say, I'm running low, it gives us joy. So we won't
I'll
let
tell
you
you.
run out. And the reason that it's so easy not to run out is to sign up for a monthly subscription,
Yeah.
which you guys have been doing.
Yeah.
Evo C60 Evo with coconut oil and versus $12,000 worth of dental work.
Mhm.
Let me
Good
think about
idea.
that for about 1 minute because that
Yeah.
guy from Iran, all the cavities filled in. So let's see, $12,000 versus East. Yeah, there's no, that's it. I'm sold. I mean, if my teeth heal, and I think they are. I went to the dentist. He's like, what?
Okay, well, since
So
we're on a roll with that, I gargle with my olive oil
I
because
swish. Yeah.
swish. I
Yeah.
don't I
Yeah.
don't do olive oil pulling. I just do a few swishes, and my
Yeah.
receding gums are no longer receding gums. Might be a
Yes.
coincidence. Can't say it's going
I
to happen.
no, it's not because I just went in for a dental checkup and cleaning and this and that, and she goes, "Oh my God, your gums are in fabulous shape." And I said, "Yeah, thank you." And I knew right away what it was.
And they come
yeah,
at you
our
with their
gums were not in
poking
good
tool,
shape.
and you're like, yes.
Yeah,
So
I mean, I don't even have the, how they measure how deep down, they.
Mm.
Oh, she says you're all. I mean, wow, she was impressed.
I've impressed my doctors too. And that's what we want to do. So onward and upward. Keep
Yes,
impressing your doctors. Keep your pets as healthy as you keep yourself. And trust good science, not scientism. Right, William?
That's exactly right. Good science. There's so much garbage out there, and it's hard to sift through.
it's scary.
It's very hard to sift through,
Well,
especially in
34
the news
years.
realm.
34 years,
Almost.
I think we've proven ourselves. But you two picky people, look at you. You look so much better than when we started doing shows with you. And I see pictures of me a few years ago, and it's like, oh, scary. Of course, I just had surgeries, but yeah, if we're anti-aging at our ages, it's a good sign.
The bottom line is we feel better.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's the whole thing. We feel better.
C60evo.com/William-Mount.
Yeah,
Amen.
it'll be in the link below.
All right.
Great
Well,
customer service. The best customer
Oh
service I've
yeah.
ever
Oh,
encountered.
you guys have got the best. I mean, those guys that we talked to are just great. Very helpful.
Thank
So if you
you.
have any questions, call and they will walk you through whatever needs you have or explain whatever. So that's also you get a live person.
A
And you can't
live
trap me
person, a
Yeah.
live person here in Houston, Texas. Yes.
Yeah.
at the lab. And when people think Chris dresses up in his costume for the show, no, he just finished a show and now Chris, back to the lab with you.
Yep. I
Yeah.
gotta go over there again.
No, he
Well, it's
really
been a
is.
pleasure.
He really
We
is in
want to
the lab.
thank you guys.
Thank
Thank you.
you. See you next month. Nano, nano.
Take care.
That's what I say. Nano, nano.
I had a feeling. All right,
Yeah.
take good care.
Bye-bye
Bye-bye.
now.